Okay, welcome to Studyguide video number 1. I'm going to do quite a few of the problems, but I'm not going to absolutely do them all. I can give you an idea of how they all work, and then each step is shown on the answer key that is on Canvas. So we'll just start in with number 1. So when we see log without a number, like this is log 4, but if we don't see a base number here, then we have to assume that it is a 10. Now a quick review of logarithms. You might skip ahead here if you're pretty good on the basic logarithms. So some of us forget in between class periods what they really mean, and the key to this whole test is going back and forth between logarithmic form, which I've given an example of here, and exponential form. So in exponential form, remember 4 is the base number, and then the answer to the problem is the exponent, the answer to the logarithm form, okay? And then what it equals is this right here, okay? So in this case, x would be equal to 16 because 4 squared is 16. So you usually have one of them missing, okay? So when you're given these problems, quite often, if they're presented in logarithmic form, you're being asked to go back to exponential form. And if they're in exponential form, you're being asked to go back to logarithmic form. So this one is given in logarithmic form, and it has no number, telling me that it is base 10. If it makes you feel better to write a 10, you certainly can do that, okay? It's not mathematically incorrect to do that, but you wouldn't see it done very often. So what this would mean is that 10 is our base number, and 2 is our exponent, and then that is equal to the answer of 6x. From here, it's really quite easy. You're going to divide both sides by 6, and the answer is 100 divided by 6, which is 16.6 repeating. Okay, number 2. I'm going to use the same kind of idea. It's in logarithmic form, and I know I need to switch it back to exponential form. But this one has a bit more going on. So keep in mind we're solving for x. So when you begin these more complicated ones, I would just start it kind of like you would a multi-step equation in like AGS1 or something. So I'm trying to isolate x, remember? So let's start by getting rid of the basic things like this, okay? And that's going to leave me with this. And then I think, oh, okay, well, I'm a little bit closer to x. What else can I do? I can divide both sides by 3. And that's going to give me okay, now I have it down to something that looks a lot like number 1. And I'm going to treat it the exact same way. So I need to write this logarithm as an exponential. So I'm going to take the base number of 4, the exponent of 2, and that needs to equal the answer of x plus 1. And then I'm going to have that, and once I minus 1 from both sides, I have the answer. Okay? All right, 3 involves the letter E, which we're not worrying about right now. Okay, and then this repeats. Okay, so obviously just skip the repeated part. Okay, these properties have all been written into your notes. So you guys have these. So you can refer to those. If you don't have them in your notes for some reason, you could always Google them, but I'm not going to take the time to rewrite them again. 1 through 4, use the properties of logarithms to expand the expression. So we need to use these properties above. So this one is a quotient property because we have 3 divided by x. So here I'm going to have log 5, 3. And remember, in exponent land, division is subtraction. Right? So all a logarithm is it's an inverse of an exponential, and the same rules apply. So I'm going to have log 5, 3 minus, because it's division, log 5x. Now at this point in the problem, I want to pause and see if there is really anything else that I can do at this time. We have expanded it. If this had an exact answer, log 5(3), I would try and solve it. But when I start thinking about it, log 5(3) is this, which does not have a nice answer, so I'm done. Number 2. So here we have a log 4, okay, 2x squared. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go log 4, 2, and then with multiplication, remember, in exponent land, that is addition. So it's log 4, 2 plus, now I'm going to have log 4x squared. And remember, with the x squared, the 2 comes in front of the logarithm. So it's going to be 2 log 4x. Now, the reason why that the 2 doesn't go in front of this one as well, which it does not, is because the only thing that's squared here is the x. If this 2 was out here, you'd be right on the money. It would be in front of both of them, okay? But it's not. So, oops, I erased something there. So there is the answer to that, almost. You would miss some small credit because log 4, 2 does have an answer. Log 4, 2 is 4 to what power is 2. And we covered fraction exponents a lot in this. So actually, it is 4 to the 1/2 power. And remember, with fraction exponents, the numerator goes in the front and the denominator goes in the back. And 4 to the first power is 4. And then the 2 is actually written by the square root sign, so we don't really even need it out there. And the answer is, we've just proved that it is equal to 2. So log 4, 2 is equal to 1/2 plus 2 log 4x. 3. Log 2, 5. Is going to be subtracted by the quantity, because we need to divide log 2, 5 by all this stuff, which is log 2, 7. And in multiplication land, because it's 7 times x, it's going to be plus log 2x. And then I stop here and I pause for a minute to see if there's anything that I can really, I look for things like this, like I knew this could be simplified to 1/2, but there's really nothing here that I can do that would come out nicely. So this one is finished. I would write this a little bit clearer though with log 2, 7. Okay, 4. So for 4, I'm going to have log 3, 3 plus log 3x. And what I need to do is I need to divide that by, I need to divide that whole quantity by log 3, 9. And remember, division is subtraction, so it's going to be divided by log 3, 9. Now log 3, 9 has an answer, and actually 2 of these things have an answer. You might pause the video and see if you can figure out which ones do. Log 3, 3 is equal to 1, because log 3, 3 is just 3 to what power is 3. And log 3, 9 is 3 to what power is 9. So log 3, 3, 3 to the first is 1. So log 3, 3 is actually equal to the number 1. And log 3, 9 is actually equal to the number 2. And now I have my answer. Okay, don't have to do natural log on this test, at least. But we do have to do some of these other ones, which says condense the expression to a single logarithm. So in the last ones, we expanded, okay? We took it and we wrote it expanded, okay? Expanded, expanded, and expanded. Now you need to go the other way, and you need to take the expansion and you need to condense it down to something smaller. So you need to think opposite, okay? This is why we did so much with inverses last chapter. So here, we're going to have log 2, and then I see some subtraction going on here. And subtraction is division, okay? And if we were to unwind this again and expand it, we could see how it would become log 2x minus log 2, 5. And then after that, we're going to have plus. We're going to have plus log 2, 9. Okay? So what we have here is, it's somewhat expanded a little bit. We put those first two things together. Now what we need to do is we need to put these final things together. So we know that addition is multiplication. So I'm going to have log 2, and then these two things multiplied by each other. X over 5 times 9, which is 9 over 1, which is 9x over 5. And here is my answer. Okay, you can see quickly how these ones are done, 7 on Canvas. We could walk through this last one if I have enough time on my video. Yeah, I think we could probably make this work. Okay, so for this one, we're going to try to condense it down. So remember, this becomes log 4x squared. The 2 goes back to the front, plus log 4 y to the third goes back to the front, okay? And now I have some addition here, which is multiplication. So the base is log 4, and then I need to go x squared y to the third. All right, this whole page is not on the test at this time. And I think that's going to go ahead and wrap up video number 1. Keep checking in for more videos on that and some other things too. Hope it helps.